Well, thank you, Trevor, and hopefully we will also find out how the EU squad is supposed to bounce back, because they got wrecked versus LCK in that very first game. A stark contrast to the game yesterday. Let's maybe start by taking a look at picks and bans and what could possibly go well, but what ended up going horribly wrong for the EU squad.
I think, first of all, Marin decided it's time to play League of Legends. He died solo to Smurf early in the tournament, something we probably would never expect. This game, however, now he can play all the champions he wants. He can play Fiora, he can both split push, he can join fights in the bottom lane. He had a monster performance, and as long as he's playing like this, Huni doesn't get going.
Yeah, I do think that EU did get some of their best picks, though. Like you said, Thresh and Lee Sin for Kasing and Amazing. This is a great core to draft immediately, and then you get counterpick for Huni. The TP, though, it all came down to these plays that they were making from the top lane, though. Marin not only having a good laning phase, but also being able to affect other parts of the map and snowball it from there. So he definitely started playing League of Legends again. I don't know why he was playing Lissandra. I know he loves that champion, and it's one of his signatures from back in the day, but he was playing it kind of just to try and show off, but it wasn't working out for him earlier in the tournament.
I mean, right, like, throughout the tournament, Marin had been kind of the team player, right? Picked Gnar in a comp that needed to engage, picked Lissandra for kind of a similar situation. And this is him kind of being more allowed to go off. And it looked like the LCK comp was actually something that a lot of Korean team comps are, which are these, like, a lot of soft synergy team fight sort of compositions. Like, all these guys are mostly frontline hitters. And it works really well when you've got a Toronto support in there to soften up that guy in the front, right? Lucian, low target selection. Orianna just kind of needs to wombo what she can find. And again, her range not the longest either. So it just kind of comes into a nice frontline focused team comp. And Shox, you had mentioned sort of this game being really snowball the other way compared to the last time these two teams met. And it's hinging off the first 8 minutes in that first big gank where, you know, whereas a few days ago, Amazing crushed everything and won the game by his team. By contrast, and we can pull up the fight actually, it's Amazing not getting quite as good of a gank here in the game snowballing because of a bot lane fight for LCK's favor.
Yeah, the replay will come up in just a second, but indeed getting his hands on his Lee Sin, also prioritizing the pick for him, and, well, just unlucky here.
Well, it's a very interesting gank. First of all, it's a miscommunication. Regulars using Condemn when the hook flies out from Kasing, but even if they connected that one, it wouldn't have been a lot more damage. Now, though, Europe needs to make a decision. Do we peel together and go for Marin because he was moving forward near Kasing and Reckless, or do you go for the hero play if you are Amazing? He went for the hero play. Even if he got that one kill, the rest of the team then had to just back so far away that Amazing most likely would have died after. I would have preferred to see just peel off, go for Marin while he's chasing after Reckless and Kasing, and try and secure at least that one kill and then get out there.
Yeah, he didn't even get that kill. Trundle ended up killing a creep and getting the level up just so close. But yeah, because he had red buff, I think the optimal play is to go after Marin, slow him so the Vayne actually has an advantage in movement speed so he can continue to get those silver bolt procs off.
Especially also because this was the lane Europe was winning. Like, mid lane was farm fest, Faker dodged around the ganks, Marin had gotten an advantage up top, also from the level 1. This lane down here was the one they were winning. LCK made a bit of a mistake, I think, at level 1, where they did the camp. Prey and Madlife together did a camp. Kasing had a very smart move where he walked in to interrupt it. Camps right now for laners do not give a full level, so it's not as impactful to get it. And therefore, he walks in, he's annoying. Prey takes a lot of damage, uses a potion. Reckless sits in lane and gets level 2, so there's a big advantage. After that little play here, it was completely gone.
Yeah, the snowball went off.
Yep. I mean, Froggen, you know, once again, succumbing to snowballing. In his matchups, you know, on the final day here, it's 3 in a row for him. But yeah, I mean, this was an early game lead, right? And it was a team that picked a bunch of early game champions, and you saw glimmers of the composition working, right? Like, you saw a big team fight later on in the game where Huni had to ultimate out, and then you saw like a bunch of Wombo come back in, but it wasn't quite enough damage, like a really good Lee Sin kick, a really good Brand ultimate. But man, imagine if Onslaught of Shadows could have been there. And this was kind of the problem. It was like, once the Koreans get ahead, like, these players are so good at playing around the map. Like, if there's one really big trait that you can point out to like top level Korean pros, they roam out of the lane so damn efficiently, they don't lose any time, and they always suss out whether it's gonna be a good fight or not. Like, you very rarely, at least comparatively, see someone like Faker roam out of their lane and it being a waste of time. When he roams down, 2 people die on the enemy team, and they're always there first. And so that's like the impeccable, crazy skill. We talk about top lane TP times, but it goes for all 5 players on the map, and that keeps getting better when your lanes are winning and they can push first.
Yeah, definitely seem invincible in that game, but honestly, it could go the other way if Amazing doesn't make that mistake early, if it goes the other way. So let's look at the next game. It's red side for LCK in that one. What are the major changes EU has to make? Obviously, that kind of a situation can occur again, but I don't feel like they should give up that early game pressure like Amazing has been doing all tournament long.
Oh, no. You still put Amazing on Lee Sin or Elise if you can. They do have first pick now if they want to take away an Elise. I think Lee Sin is probably better for him overall to make the big plays. Yep. It's more the fact now that Huni won't get a counter pick. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Hecarim in this case, also because he fell behind, he went ghost played. You know, Huni wants to be aggressive and make some plays, and you don't really do that from behind his Hecarim. But they got to find a way to get him at least a decent matchup, despite not having a counter pick. If they can do that, they can still be fine.
It was also rather strange in this pick and ban that they ended up banning their own Quinn on the EU side. You had just seen Marin's Quinn. It wasn't that effective at all. And Huni plays a magnificent Quinn. And then also, you gave over Mundo. It wasn't like extraordinarily effective in taking over the game, but it was still a Mundo that you had to deal with mid and late game. And Mundo ganking a Hecarim is rather easy as well. That was a big part of how they got that first blood, too.
Yeah, and by and large, I don't think it takes any major shifts here from EU. This is the kind of game where you just say unlucky, and you just try again. Like, the skill's there, the champions are there, you just try again.
Yeah, try again. They will. Players are taking a break, and so will we with Team Fire. One game closer to victory. We'll step away for just a second, but stay with us. We'll be back to look at round 2 of this 3-game set right after this.
If they lose first game, we kick this coach, okay?
Amazing gets dropped, the pillar comes up, Huni's in trouble, there's no flash, there's no escape, and that's first blood to LCK. Won't be enough to pick up the kill. Now Morin and the Silver Bolts are being propped down, that's a double kill. Will flash to the mid lane as the stun finds score. Huni has got the onslaught, he does it defensively, the shockwave finds 2, that's already a kill onto Huni, and Ice are in full retreat.
We can fight
I'm moving. I think I get all of that. I can flash over.
But here comes Huni, onslaught of Shadow, and Faker will flash away from it. He dunks Huni. Team Fire and the LCK are 1 win away from winning All-Star 2015.